Welcome back to episode 55 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. The winter meetings are underway. We are not there, but we are still doing the best that we can to bring everything. We are doing more stuff at around the diamond than some of those other people they sent to Nashville. That's right, I'm coming out here with haymakers. So, um, the gang's all here myself, Matt, and Kyle. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Well, I'm glad we started the podcast by burning bridges, not building bridges. Thanks, Mello. Jeez. There goes our
Think they were
shots at
burned a
getting any
while ago.
credentials the rest the rest of the year. No, I'm doing great. Hoping for some more actual stories instead of just rumors and talks. But I'm sure that'll come here soon. But Kyle, how are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, Matt. I'm really ready for this winter meetings to get underway. Obviously, they have been the last 3 days here, but it really not much, and that's not what we like. So we're patiently waiting.
We are patiently waiting, and other years the winter meetings are fun and exciting. Players are signing left and right. This year it's a lot of gossip bullshit going around. What are we in high school again? A lot of he said, she said. Like, just can I get some real news here? But listen, we're gonna touch on Otani because boy was there pretty much a lot of stuff that came out today. No, not a signing, but some drama with the team that you see behind me. We'll get to that. And then um what else are we talking about?
Jarred Kelenic to
Yes, he got
the
traded.
Braves. And I swear, if this turns out to be another Alex Anthopoulos mastercraft and just fleece the Mariners, I'm not going to be a happy Phillies fan. But like Mello said, his Dodgers got themselves in some hot water, I think. Um,
No, Dave Roberts got himself in some hot water.
Dave Roberts. So
This is new.
I'm intrigued by this whole thing where Ohtani says he's not going to sign with somebody who makes it public that they met. Because first of all, why do you really care? I mean, that's the people's job is to report what's happening, and what's happening is you're the biggest free agent and you're meeting with teams. So they're just trying to do their jobs and determine what teams you're meeting with to create news stories, videos, other types of content as their job. Now, either way, he's the one who has everybody wants to sign him, so I guess he's allowed to make his own rules, sort of. But Dave Roberts wasn't afraid to speak out that they had met with Ohtani just a couple days, and Mel's not a happy camper about it.
Yeah, because and I called out the Blue Jays for that yesterday because Ken Rosenthal dropped it late last night that they met at their spring training facility last week, if not a couple days ago, whenever. So, I was like, well, if their camp is going to stay by their word, then the Blue Jays are out because they didn't want teams leaking out these meetings for whatever reason. Whatever Otani's preferences, I guess that's what it goes. And then today, Dave Roberts, it's not like it came from, you know, like the assistant to the assistant or something. Like this was straight from the horse's mouth. This is right from the source. Like, and I'm not gonna give any reporters any crap for it because like that's their job. They're gonna ask, and I think that's on Dave Roberts and that's on the Dodgers PR to have a better grip and a handle on what they're gonna say. The way I see it was, and then you heard about it after Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers GM Brandon Gomez came out and said today that he was very surprised that Dave Roberts said that. And that tells me that the three top guys are not on the same page right now. Dave Roberts clearly has another agenda, and I guess you can put Andrew Friedman and Brandon Gomez in the same. They're together. They're like, we're not saying anything. We're gonna do what his camp wants. And then Dave Roberts comes out and says, "Yeah, we met with him at Dodger Stadium last Friday before we came here." Um, Now that I'm in this position, I really hope that this is the reason why. This isn't the reason why Otani's not in a Dodger uniform next year. Because if it is, that's kind of petty. I'm
It's
sorry, it
true.
is. Like, is it that big of a deal that we all know that you met at Dodger Stadium last Friday? Like, I could have said, hey, Otani met with the Dodgers sometime in the offseason. Am I going to get in trouble for that? No, because it's just common knowledge. And he's probably meeting with other teams like the Giants or the Angels again in Nashville right now. So I hope this is not the reason, and I hope Otani says, you know what, guys, you screwed up, I'm out. I hope that's not what it is, because Toronto's out, or at least they should be, and for all intents and purposes, the Dodgers are out. Let's just say you only got like a handful of teams left. You got the Cubs, you got the Braves, you got the Angels, which I don't know why they even bother, and then you got the Giants. So we'll see what happens, but I hope this is not the end all be all. And I hope whatever was said in that meeting Friday, I hope something came good out of that.
You're going to be doing damage control either way. I mean, at this point, it's got to be a pretty good meeting to make up for Dave Roberts' little goof here. So,
And from the beginning, I was like, well, maybe, maybe he's saying this knowing that he made his decision already. That's when I first heard it. And then when I heard Andrew Friedman said he declined to comment because he doesn't talk about any free agents. And then when Brandon Gomez doubled down and said that, I was surprised that Dave Roberts said that. That was like, okay, I don't think Otani's made his decision yet, and I don't think this is good. And it doesn't help.
Yeah, listen. I understand that we all love Shohei Ohtani, right? He's great for the game of baseball. We love him. We love to watch him play. We love what he's about, and we love what he's doing for the history of baseball. He could very well go down as the greatest player of all time. He is the modern day Babe Ruth. We all know this. These are the storylines we've been listening to ever since 2018. But you are the biggest free agent that this game has seen in a very, very long time. If you want to do your secret things, whatever it is, that's your own prerogative. I get it. But at the same time, you're missing out. Listen, I was talking to Matt about this before he hopped on. Aaron Judge last year, okay? He was making little petty comments at the All-Star game at Yankee Stadium all last year. He then, literally like a couple days before winter meetings, flying into San Francisco. Come on now. You know that was planned. That's all PR. That's all the way it works sometimes. If Ohtani just buys in a little bit, dude, you could put this game on the map bigger than what it already is. Now, at the same time, these journalists who are doing their job, you cannot, nobody can fault the journalist. They need a storyline. They need some bait. That's just the way it works. That's how they get paid. Now, if I'm going to say exactly what you guys said here, if this is what is stopping Ohtani from signing with these teams, I don't know what to say. Because, like you guys had said, the Dodgers are out. The Blue Jays are out. And that leaves the teams that Melo had mentioned. So now you want to go back to your winning ways, right? Ohtani said he wants to win. You're not going to do that in Anaheim. San Francisco is not looking that great. Chicago's up and coming, but I don't know if they're going to fork out the money. So what are you going to do? What happens if all these teams leak that they've had meetings with you? Then where are you going?
He's going to go back to Japan.
I guess so.
He's going to team up with Trevor Bauer.
I guess so. Why not? At the end of the day, I'm sorry. No matter who wants to hear this, I don't care. Mello, you're going to love me for this. If you want to win, you go to Los Angeles. I'm sorry.
Right.
If you want to win and if you want to put yourself in the best possible situation, you go
and win regular season games. You go to Los Angeles.
Listen, you have your doctors in Los Angeles. You have a big market. You have the possibility of winning. You're going to get the bag that you are evidently wanting, whatever we haven't heard how much he's seeking. That's not out there. Yeah, you're going to get paid, but like these are the things that we're talking about. Like it's secret. We don't know how much he actually wants. We don't know the amount of years. So, like I said, if you want to win, you go to Los Angeles, and that's all there is to it. Stop playing this out. Just make your decision and finish it out. I'm sorry. I'm not really liking the way this situation's going with Ohtani. But hey, who am I to say?
Well, you can also use the media for leverage if you would like. I mean, saying or getting it leaked somehow that hey, I'm heading over to LA. I'm going to talk to the Dodgers. Blue Jays, you might want to up your offer a little bit, up your current offer to me a little bit, because if everything goes well, maybe I'll sign with the Dodgers. I mean, you can throw that out in the media, have that leaked somehow, create a little leverage for yourself, and guess what? If everything goes well at the Dodgers camp and you don't sign with them, what does it matter? Everybody can just dismiss it as rumors anyway. Like nobody's holding you to saying that if everything goes well, you have to sign with the Dodgers. It's all positives, basically. Like in this case, and I'm not saying that that Shohei and his agent speaking personally just to the Dodgers and just to the Blue Jays and just to whoever else and being like, well, we did just meet with Toronto and we just meet with LA and this is what their current deal is, or this is, we would like to see more money, or but leaking it in the media can give you even more leverage, and it's a missed opportunity, really. But when you're the guy commanding 600-700 million, I guess you can maybe call those shots.
And if you're only going to go through free agency once in your whole career, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because he's not going back on the free agency again. That's what it sounds like after this deal is signed. But I think I think the baseball world is just, we're getting impatient.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been that many guys signed. I think the biggest signing we've had is Nola so far. And that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
So, and you've heard it from different teams that the minute Shohei Ohtani signs with his new club, then the market's going to move and things are going to happen fast. So I think you got a lot of these GMs and front office people and fans that are like, come on, dude, let's go. Like, we have to figure out our team next year, too. So make a decision and make the right one.
Well, some teams might they don't want to wait around too long. Maybe that's what's causing some teams to drop out, is they're trying to not wait along. They're trying to make their free agency decisions now and shape the team, mold the team in the way that they see fit. And they're like, well, Shohei's waiting around too long. We're not going to skip out on these other, like, Shohei's so good, but could you justify saying, hey, well, we're not going to sign Shohei, but we're going to sign like 3 players that could be worth about the same amount as Shohei? And you could miss out on those 3 if you were holding out for Shohei Ohtani. Like, let's say the Yankees were still holding out on Ohtani. They could be messing around, not getting Juan Soto, not in talks with Yamamoto. All these other, Bellinger, if that's still a possibility for them, they could be missing out on all of those because they're still holding out for Ohtani. So, yeah, hopefully we can get the ball rolling here a little bit. But like you said at the top, would have been nice if we were in Nashville to see a little bit of behind the scenes, hear the stove heating up maybe.
And to take Dave Roberts to a side and have a conversation. What the hell are we doing?
That too. Like Melo said, or we said at the beginning, other thing we want to talk about was former top prospect with the Mets, first of all, then with the Mariners, and now he gets traded to the Braves, Jarred Kelenic. And 2 ways to look at this. One, Braves seem to be just acquiring whoever they want and signing whoever they want to team-friendly deals and just fleecing other teams with their deals all the time. Or you can look at it from the Mariners' perspective and say, well, why are you trading away this former top prospect? And I understand dumping a little contracts right now because those were not 2 nice contracts in Marco Gonzalez and Evan White. But still, you're losing talent overall for two pitchers, two minor league pitchers, one who didn't have a lot of success at the big league level already. So I'm here interested to hear what you guys think about this trade.
Impatience. Why do you run out of patience so quickly? That's what I want to know. And I would like to know their financial situation because I've heard a lot of that going around in the last 48 hours. The Mariners broke. That was like literally the top question I heard. But I mean, I know. Listen, I know I heard from every Met fan the other day that they hated this, rightfully so, and you got to feel for them because
Well,
if Jarred Kelenic turns out, yeah, I know not for Matt, he loves it. If
well, it's double sided. I'd like to see the
right,
Mets revenge, but I hate to see this guy in my division.
right, and he might be a Met killer, but you never. We got to see it first. But I just, the Mariners have been making some boneheaded trades the last couple months, and to me, it all started with Seawald back at the trade deadline. It's like why would you trade your top closer to the Diamondbacks who are trying to win and you're trying to win too? That made no sense to me. And then the other day with Suarez. Now that one's a little bit different because he's going to my division now and he's actually he's pretty good. So I don't like that. But hopefully there's an end goal in this with the Mariners. Like they trade for like another superstar or something or do something. Because right now I don't see the blueprint. To me, it's just they got impatient with this kid. And it's like, all right, well, we've seen enough. Let's ship him off somewhere else. That's the way I saw it.
That and the Mariners are just being cheap because they're like, here, you can have this guy that we're not waiting around to see what he could be, and take on these two expensive contracts because we're cheap. We don't want to pay them. Because some people were speculating, like you said, could this be an avenue to open up for them to make a trade or to sign somebody? But it doesn't seem like it. Sort of just seems like the Mariners being cheap at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree with both you guys here. I have two perspectives on this. Well, number one, exactly what Mello said. What are the Mariners doing? I said this to you guys when we talked about the Suarez trade. I don't understand what's going through their mind. And they're not that far off. I really don't think they are. That's the thing about all this. They're not far off. You can very easily get a wild card spot because I understand the division's tough. You got the Astros and you got the World Series champs and the Rangers. I get all this. But you're not far off. You got a young, nice squad up there. You got J-Rod controlling the outfield. You got some nice infielders. You got Cal Raleigh. And then you got the loads of pitching prospects that this team has. The only way that I can consider this to be good moves that they're making is if they do go out and get a Juan Soto, as much as I don't want that to happen. Go get a Juan Soto. Pair up J-Rod with a superstar. Now, if there's one team that I'm scared of as a Yankee fan that's going to get in the way of the Juan Soto deal is definitely the Mariners. They got the pitching prospects to get the deal done. And pairing Soto and Rodriguez, that's kind of scary. And I don't want to see that. But now for the Braves perspective, if there's one team, like this is where we're going to find out if Kelnick is the real deal or not. This right here, this destination, this upcoming year is going to be the all-telling signs of if he's going to make it or if he is not. He's been beating around the bush. He's been showing flashes of that number one pick. And then he shows flashes of just some other, usually, like, I don't know, backup piece, whatever it is. So I like the deal for the Braves. If they're going to figure it out, it's going to be them.
And how do you think the fans feel right now? It's like it took us 50 million freaking years to finally get a competitive team back in Seattle again. You make the playoffs, and then in 2021 and 2023, you missed it on the final weekend of the season. Mm-hmm. Like Kyle said, you're right there. Why are we backing away now?
And there's no sense of direction. I mean, this fan base has no direction and, like, no hope. like at all, because now they're stuck in the middle. Are we going to go through another 20-year rebuild, or are we going to actually go out and do something? I mean, I'm
And
this fan base. I'm sorry, I really am.
just when you thought Kelnick was turning the page too, like he had a tough first 2 seasons there in
Wasn't bad
Seattle,
last
but
year.
yeah, he was. You were starting to see it a little bit last year. Then he got mad and like punched a wall or whatever he did to
Yeah,
kicked the cooler. That's what he did, and hurt himself that way. But still, it was like you were starting to see flashes. And then he came back. He didn't really have a great return to the season, but like he had a nice hot start. And it was like, oh, this is the top prospect that we were expecting to see. This is great. You pair him up with Julio, but then they're just quick to pull a trigger just to seemingly attach some, like I said, bad contracts and save themselves some money at this point. But yeah, hopefully they're players for Mariners fans. Hopefully they're players for Juan Soto or some other trade or possibly free agency moves as well, and that's why they were trying to save this money. But doesn't really look like that's what the Mariners front office is trying to do. They've had some bad quotes recently too about what is it, winning 54% of their games is enough for them. I mean, that's kind of not things that fans want to hear at all.
not at all.
That's small market teams. It's a
It
small
is.
market team quote right there.
Yeah, and the fact that they already distanced themselves from Ohtani, like it was like 2 weeks ago already that it was said that they're out on the Ohtani sweepstakes. It's like, well, you are a West Coast team, which seems to possibly be what he prefers at this point. We don't know, but it could be one thing that he prefers. You have the history there of Japanese players with Ichiro. I mean, I'm sure that means at least something to him, you would think. And you have, a, more importantly, I should have said this probably first, you have a very attractive pitching staff, a competitive lineup that he's going to add to. But no, you're like, no, we don't want to sign Shohei. Too much money for us. And boom. And for that reason, they're out. So it's just question marks about what. That's Dipoto up there, Jerry Dipoto, I believe, and the GM and the whole Mariners front office.
Yeah, and real quick, just to add on something else here, I haven't heard their names in any of these free agent rumors. I've heard Cody Bellinger a little bit today, but I think that was just speculation. And we brought up Matt Chapman, but that was only because Suarez was traded. I don't know if I have no clue if Matt Chapman's actually interested in Seattle or vice versa. So yeah, I mean, just piggybacking off what you guys said, there's no sense of direction, and it's a disappointment, to be honest with you, for the baseball world.
Definitely. Couple other minor things we can get into here. We have a new Hall of Famer, Jim Leyland, former manager of a couple of teams. Twins, Tigers comes to mind. I believe Pirates.
Pirates and
Is that right?
Marlins. Yeah, he won the World
Marlins, yes,
Series.
Marlins too.
He also
Um,
managed Team USA to the World Baseball Classic win in 2017.
Yes.
There you go. Inducted by one of the special committees. So that's just in case you didn't know, the Hall of Fame has quite a few different ways of getting people in that, not just the main ballot that everybody knows about. So, I mean, good for the guy. He's one of the legendary managers that's been in our lifetime. Sort of a meme too for ripping darts in the in the dugout. You always get those infamous pictures of him doing that. But yeah, good for Jim Leyland getting his
Smoking
flowers.
cigs.
Yes.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, I heard when they announced the voting too, Lou Piniella, he missed it again by one vote for the second straight year. Like, are you serious? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. That's just, I thought both of them were gonna get in, but good job by the committee. You don't hear that a lot, but yeah, you just hit it. There's many ways to get in the Hall of Fame if you don't get in through the writers, and I think you're gonna see years down the road guys that maybe didn't get in with the writers are gonna get in with this damn committee. So, for all you Hall of Famers that, well, okay, let me try that again. For all you players that feel like you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, don't lose hope because you might get in 10, 15 years down the road.
I
But good for
believe
Jim Leyland, he deserves it.
Fred McGriff just this past year was
Yes.
a special committee. I don't know what committee it was, but it was one of these special committees, and he got in that way.
Yes, so Jim Leyland, just to get it out of the way, he was inducted by the Hall of Fame's baseball era non-players committee.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
that and I skipped out on a word as well. Yes, so resume speaks for itself, right? He's 18th all time with 1,769 managerial wins. Um, he spent years managing Pirates, Marlins, Rockies, Tigers. And to be honest with you, growing up, I thought he was going to take those Tigers teams a lot farther than what they made it. I'm going to tell you that. That's one of my all-time memories from Jim Leyland was the fact that those Tiger teams really thought they were going to do it. World Series winner. He had 3 World Series appearances, won manager of the year 3 times. Well deserved. He is, like I said, resume speaks for himself. He deserves it, and I definitely think the committee got it right this time.
Yeah.
Based on those accomplishments that you just read, seems like Dave Roberts is going to get in too. Multiple World Series appearances. He got 1. He has a bunch of wins with the Dodgers. I don't know. They add up.
Yeah.
Well, actually, who knows here? We don't know how this Shohei thing's going to play out.
That's
So,
true.
We'll see. We'll see.
Might be expelled from that just for that reason.
Yeah. Other news manager wise, my Phillies locked down Rob Thomson to a little extension, signed him through 2025. And then the Tigers signed AJ Hinch to an extension as well. I'm not sure how long that was.
Yeah. So
Mellows.
So
Go ahead.
those details were not going to be disclosed by the Tigers front office. That was I think that was a point. I don't really know. I don't understand why, but they left the details behind closed doors, and but we know the extensions for it's long term.
I mean, I'm happy as a Phillies fan. Rob Thompson's been the guy who's led us to the promised land, and we've only seen playoff success pretty much under him. At least getting into the playoffs and making it decently far.
Lost is the promised land now. Wow.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Man, I've been in the promised land multiple times. Then, if that's the case.
Well, not since 2020. You haven't been to the promised land. Then,
no, but 2017, 2018, there's a bunch of stuff in there.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
The promised land.
No. Promised land was making it to the playoffs because the Phillies had the second longest drought.
That's right. Okay. That's right. The Phillies, yes, the team that took them 10 years to get back in. I forgot about that.
Okay, this is not meant to be a dump on the Phillies segment. This was meant to be praise the Phillies for making the right decision in locking down Rob Thomson. But yes, I'm happy with the decision. I was a little confused why it was only through 2025. Seems like a short extension there. Thought maybe you'd get like a 4-year deal, but I guess it's nice to keep your options open. You're not locked up that way. If something does go awry, it's not like, oh, we got to fire him and now pay him for another 4 years after we signed him. So I'm all right with it, I guess. We can always re-up him. It seems like he's satisfied with the Phillies job anyway, so that he wouldn't have any reason to want to leave. Now the Tigers locking up AJ Hinch seems like a smart move. I mean, we've seen Tigers improvement recently, and he seemed to do pretty well managing the Astros and their talent down there and sort of helping them become the dynasty they were. Whether that was
took advantage of it too.
Yes, and knowing what we know about the Astros, I'm not sure how involved he was with the cheating scandal. I don't think I've ever dove that deeply into that side of things, the manager's side of things, how much he was involved, how much did he know. But either way, still widely regarded as a pretty decent manager. So definitely step in the right direction, I'd say, for the Tigers.
Yeah, you want somebody that's going to be there for the long haul. And you just mentioned that this is a young team still, and we mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Just based on how bad this division is, and because Detroit, when they're competing, they're a big market team and they spend like it. They may not be too far off from contention. So clearly, the Tigers are like, "Yep, this is going to be our guy for the future." And there was probably mutual interest. Like, yeah, I can see the vision with the Tigers. Like, we probably won't win in 2024, but we're probably going to be competing 2025, 2026. So I think it's the right move.
Yeah, no, I agree with exactly what you guys said. Rob Thomson with the Phillies, I'm very happy for him. He spent a very, very long time in New York's managerial staff. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him. I think it's the right move. Matt, you kind of hit it right there. It's the only manager that they've had that has had the recent postseason success. You got a damn good team there in Philly, and I think Rob Thompson fits that team very, very well. Everybody likes him. He seems to be a fan favorite in the locker room as well. As,
100%.
yeah, as well with the fan base as well. I mean, I don't think he's gotten on anybody's bad side. I think he has a great relationship with the front office. Um, and moving to the Tigers side, you guys hit it there too. I mean, this is a young team who can compete within the next year or two. Um, I think it's great moves for both ends. AJ Hinch gets the long term deal that he's seeking, and he gets to be the head shipman on this young team. I mean, it's really cool to see. As much as I hate to admit it, I don't like AJ Hinch. That's just how it is. I'm sure he had a big deal
I
with what went
agree.
down there in Houston. But the one thing that I can't discredit him for is the great baseball mind that he is. So you needed somebody there long term with this young team, and I think AJ Hinch was the guy.
There you go. I don't think we missed anything. That's pretty much all that's been going on in the baseball world recently. And like we all said, hopefully we'll see some more, hear some more rumors, see some more signings. Hopefully soon. Shohei Ohtani can kick that off anytime he would like. Now we're all just waiting for him. And yeah, other than that, maybe emergency special episodes coming up if need be for Ohtani or any other massive moves. But yeah, other than that, we'll be back record again next Tuesday. And yeah, that's it for episode 55. See ya.
Later.
Adios.